Welcome everyone to top 5 tips that you need to know to make you a better player in the new Blood Hunt mode. Please be aware that these tips are for both beginning and advancing players who are currently going through all the nightmares right now. Before we get started, I'd just like to say quickly that I have gotten MVP on my last 20 plus games in this mode, so these tips are actually very useful, so I recommend that you stick around till the very end. Let's get straight into it. Tip number 1 is to stick to one character. Now, I know what you might be thinking, please wait and just hear me out quickly. So, I know that there's a bunch of different characters you can play on this game, from Moon Knight to Squirrel to Blade, Jeff, and loads of different ones to try out. But my biggest recommendation is that you stick through with one character and just play them all the way up to around like Nightmare 70 to 100 first. My reason for this is because it makes it way easier. If you're trying to upgrade and advance multiple characters at the same time, it becomes a really big headache for you. For example, for me right now, I am sticking to Moon Knight, and I currently got level 40 upgrades on him I have, and I'm just going to keep going until I get to Nightmare 100. Once I pass Nightmare 70, actually no, Nightmare 70 actually, not 100, sorry, because 70 is where you get the title for the actual character. So once you pass Nightmare 70 with a character, then you can go back to normal mode and start with a new character again, because it makes it way more easier. So yeah, I would recommend that you stick to one character. Tip number 2 is to know your traits. Now, we're going to be doing a deep explanation of this in a minute, but before we do, let me explain what traits are quickly. Traits are the skill tree for each character. You have multiple traits for each character that changes the way that their playstyle is. Let's cut to the trait screen right now. Here is the trait screen. You can find it under the hero tab in the new Blood Hunt mode. Now there's 3 different traits there are. To start off with, there is the main trait, which is the purple trait, which gives you like health upgrades, damage upgrades, the usual stuff that you would expect in a mode. And then the second trait, 2 traits, are basically choices between the characters. So for Moon Knight, he's got his yellow build, which is his punch upgrades, and his blue build, which is his upgrades. So what you guys want to do is that you want to upgrade the purple one slowly as you go along, and then when it comes to the other 2, you're going to want to choose one depending on what playstyle you want. For example, with me, I have gone ahead and upgraded my Onk build I have, because I'm more interested in using the Onk build first. You do not, and I repeat, you do not want to upgrade both builds simultaneously at the same time. I've seen too many people upgrading both builds at the same time. So, for example, I've seen Moon Knight players upgrade both the punch and Onk build at the same time, and that does not matter. Yes, in the future, when you reach like Nightmare 70, 80, 90, you will 100 even, you have enough points to upgrade both sides, but at the beginning, you want to stick to one side. You do whichever style you want to stick to, you want to upgrade that style. And I recommend to, over time, upgrade the purple build and mainly focus on the blue or yellow build depending on what your character is and depending on which one you've chosen. For example, with me, I upgrade the purple one like 1 out of 5 and just choose the one below it until I unlock the blue Onk bit, and I fully upgrade the Onk bit, and then I go back to the purple one later. I do just to make my life more easier, because I feel like that's a way better choice. There's also a second profile there is, so if you want to focus upgrading the punch, the yellow one on the profile blue one, depending on which character, which side you've chosen, then you're more than welcome to, because those points are just saved for free in profile 2, they're not used. Now let's just see everything else quickly. So for Punisher, he's got the health and the gun and the shotgun, so you could choose between whichever one you want. For Squirrel Girl, she's got the Acorn Blast and the Radiant she has. And then for Thor, he has gotten, I think, the Awakening Force, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Thunder Ding and Awakening Force. I'll probably choose the Awakening Force if I've ever played Thor. Jeff has Hide and Seek and the Splash damage probably, and probably Blade has his sword and damage, knowing sword and damage definitely. Now please be aware that there's actually a reset button at the bottom, so if you have already started and you messed up, you can click the reset button at the bottom and make sure that you go back and you get all of your points back, so you have nothing to worry about. You get all your points back, and just follow what I said about how to upgrade your trait tree, and you should be getting way better in your games then at your attacks and everything. But your traits don't matter if you don't follow tip 3. Tip number 3 is to know your gear and which ones are the right ones to select. I have seen so many people mix up gears and just struggle so much. If you don't know, the gear is different for each type of trait upgrade. I'm going to do a deep explanation right now. Let's switch up over to the gear section. Right, here's the gear section. Once again, it's under the hero tab as always. Here is my Moon Knight gear. I've currently got level 40 on everything. Now, here's the main thing. Weapons and exclusive are the ones you want to focus on. For Moon Knight, he's got the Udu Knuckles and the Scepter of Rifles. The Scepter of Rifles is specifically for the Ankh build, and you know this because it shows the actual color it does of what build it is, or the icon. Let's just say, for example, it shows a fist next to the knuckles because it's obviously for the punch build, and it shows an Ankh next to the rifle because it's for the Ankh build. So that's why I've got that one selected. Let's go to Punisher quickly and see his one. The shotgun and the normal gun. So that's the yellow one for the normal gun and then blue one for the shotgun. Alright, let's go to the next one quickly. The next one is Scourge. I don't think, yeah, unfortunately I actually don't have it for Scourge because I obviously probably haven't got much things for her. Now for Thor, his weapons is his elephant half, which is for the yellow build, and then for the, oh no, that's the elephant half again, and then I don't know how to pronounce that, Gia, I can't pronounce that, Signal is for the blue build, it is. And then for the next character, which is Jeff, his weapon is Kraken Blaster is for the blue build, and then Deep Sea Propeller is for the yellow build, it is. And then finally for Blade has probably his sword and his gun. His sword and his gun, sword is yellow build, Strike of Yasgard, and then gun is the blue build. Now the reason why I'm saying this is because I've seen so many people get the weapon gear mixed up. We're going to back to just look at the armor and the other ones in a second. I just want to explain the weapon one quickly. With the weapon one, as I said, I've seen so many people mix it up. For example, people have been equipping Moon Knight's punch build, like the punch of the Udu Knuckles, while running the Ankh build, and that basically makes your Ankh build useless. Then there's no point of you doing the traits on the Ankh side if you're going to choose the gear for the punch build. Same for Punisher. If you want to do a shotgun build, don't choose the traits for his gun, for his normal gun build. Same for Jeff. If you want to do the hide and seek build, don't choose traits for the water splash build. It's pretty simple and common sense, but I've seen so many people just mess it up. Let's talk about the rest of the gear now. Right, let's go back to Moon Knight and look at armor. Now thankfully armor is easier because there's only armor, there's like not different types of armor. I would recommend that you go ahead and look up what the best rated armor is. For example, when you get like around level 32, I would recommend that you try your best to get epic armor, because you're going to definitely, same for everything, weapon, armor, accessory, exclusive, I would recommend that you try and get epic armor, because because it's going to be way more beneficial to you in the future. As you can see right now, I've got an epic amulet as well. Accessories are all the same. It's always going to be an amulet, so you don't have to worry about that. But exclusives are different. There are 2 exclusives for each character. So for Moon Knight, it's got the Pentadon of Utashir and Gauntlets of Dorf. So Pentadon is obviously blue build and Gauntlets is the yellow build. Let's see if I can show you for Punisher quickly. So for Punisher, we got the Mitral Slug, which is for the yellow build, and then for the it's for the blue build, apologies, and Vibranium Barrel is for the yellow build, it is. And so yeah, make sure you select the right ones for that as well. And then for Scourge, I have actually gone for Scourge. We got Seeds of Yaska and Druid's Whistle, yellow build for Seeds, and then Druid is blue build. For Thor, he has Goddamn his Wrath, and which is for the blue build, and Cosmic Cape, which is for the yellow build. And then for Jeff, he has probably the hide and seek, doesn't he? He has Skull and Mouthwatch, which is for the blue build, and then he has the West Coast Bionic thing, which is for the yellow build, and Blade probably has his sword and his gun, doesn't he? Twilight Whisper is for the yellow build, and Phoenix Frostbite is for the blue build. And obviously you'll know which one to select depending on which build you do. So if you've done blue build, you select the one for the blue build. If you've done one for the yellow build, you select one for the yellow build. But yeah, make sure you know your gears, because it is one of the most important important things ever. If you obviously you can still reselect your gear if you mess it up. It's not like traits where you have to reset it. Just unselect the wrong gear and or just select the right gear. But also I've seen this, but also it should actually come up with a warning message if you're selecting the wrong gear. So if you're selecting the wrong gear on the weapons or the exclusive, it should technically come up with a warning message. If it doesn't, that means you selected the right one. If it does, then I would recommend that you switch it up and you don't ignore that, because otherwise you're definitely going to struggle with that. But we're going to move on to tip number 4 now, and tip number 4 now is to basically know how to forge and sell and to make new gear. So I'm going to teach you how to do that right now. Let's jump into the forge section quickly. Right, before you begin forging, what you want to do is that you want to go to your gear and make sure you lock it. If you hover over the gear, it should show you what the lock button is. For me, it's a square because I'm on PlayStation, but it should probably be a different button for you if you're not on PlayStation, so I don't know what button it will be. Just hover over it, make sure you lock any gear that you don't want to get rid of, and then what you want to do is that you're going to want to go ahead and go to the Forge tab. You're going to then go to filter and select whatever thing you want to forge. So for me, I want to select Moon Knight because I got the most timber, and select normal gear, and I'm going to smelt all of this because I don't need normal gear. For you, if you're a lower level, you probably might need most of this still, but if you're on a high level, then I highly recommend that you get rid of all your normal and advanced gear all the time, and most of the time the rare gear as well, because after level 40 almost, you should be running a full epic gear. You should not be running anything below epic because you're going to struggle big time in the future. You are, so I recommend that you run epic from a level 40 almost. I'm going to sell all my advanced gear as well. I am smelt it. You get something called Udo. I'm going to sell my rare one as well, and then we're going to do some nice forging. We are right. I just went to get one extra level. I did because I want to make level 50 gear. So what you have to do is that you have to select your highest gear that you can create, and then select what one you want. For example, you have to select the character first. I want to do it for Moon Knight because I'm focusing on Moon Knight right now. Select your gear, armor, accessory, exclusive, etc. I'm going to do weapon I am, and click confirm on the Moon Knight I am. And then you just want to click the forge button at the bottom. Be aware, the more max gear, the more expensive it gets. And yes, oh, I got a legendary. Oh, let's go, man. That's really lucky. That is for level 50 especially. And another fun fact, after level 60 you get 15% more legendaries. You do. So now I'm going to try out for armor I am and try to get myself some new nice little armor. I'm probably going to get lots of level 50 epic armors. Yes, right there, level 50 epic armors. I can upgrade my armor now as well. I can, and just keep selecting the one that you want to keep forging. For example, with like level 1, you basically like you don't use damage Udo, but as level 50 you use a bunch of Udo for like one forged for 10 forged items. You do. So as you can see, I've got lots of new things for the exclusive as well. I'm trying to get into the legendary, but I don't think I'll be able to get one because it's really hard. I was very lucky to get that one. And then there we go, right there, some new amulets as well. And once you actually go ahead and forge, you eventually are going to run out of Udo. You can just come back here if you want to, but first let me just lock this in because there's no way I'm letting that one go. I'm just going to quickly lock this in and then lock that one in as well right here. So now technically speaking, I should not get rid of this. I shouldn't, and my legendaries now locked. So yeah, if you want like a rinse and repeat, you could just come back, select the character and smelt the normal gear. You can't, oh oops, sorry, that's my stuff. And you could just do a rinse and repeat until you run out of Udo. But yeah, that's how you smelt. And finally, tip 5, a pretty simple tip is to know your cards. So there are two different types of cards that you need to know about. The first one is red one, which upgrades your character, and the second one is blue one, which upgrades your health, damage, etc. It's like mainly for like your base parts of the character. So think about the red one as upgrading your actual blue or yellow traits, and think about the blue one as upgrading your your health or things that are not really that good and the things you shouldn't really be focusing on. So let me cut to the screen now to quickly explain it to you more better. So here is the arcane cards. It's under here, which you can't select any here. You have to select them in game by selecting whatever button it is. So here are all the red cards, and oops, that's my own fault. So go to, where is it gone again? Arcane. So yeah, the red cards are the same for everybody, and then the blue ones are the same as well for everybody. Let me just go back to, let me just quickly check again. Yeah, it's the same for everybody. So the red cards are the same and the blue cards are the same for everybody. So what I would recommend, as I recommend that you focus on these cards specifically. I do, for example, with Moon Knight, Close Quarters is a very good card because 20% more damage, especially with the Onk build and the Punch build. Chain Line is also a good one. There's a bunch of things you should be focusing on, like Deep Freeze as well. Those three are basically like king, and then I recommend you get 1 or 2 boss cards. You do, and then things like First Blood and the other two, they should be really last resorts. Like, I recommend you chose one of the other ones that I just mentioned earlier above those ones. And when it comes to blue cards, it gives you like a full 3 blue cards to select from. Just select the one that you like the most. For example, if you want more damage reduction, then select that one. If you want more 50% more health, select that one, etc. There's like lots of different things there are. Don't go anywhere yet though, because I am going to be generous and give you guys a bonus tip as soon as I get rid of the zombie and show you the cards. So yeah, this is the cards. You open it on tab and you select one. So yeah, let's give you guys a quick bonus tip now, and the bonus tip is to basically know your map, know the map, and know the escape routes. For example, yeah, I've seen so many people on the maps, especially on nightmare mode, they get themselves stuck in one corner and they keep dying over and over again. My biggest recommendation is to just like know your map, save your actual escape abilities for escapes and not just to look cool. For example, when Moon Knight used his hook and his jump, Squirgle has a jump as well, Thor has like a getaway ability. Almost every character has a getaway ability that people don't use. I would highly recommend that you basically lay out the map in your head to always know what your escape route is in case things go too haywire, and you always use those abilities if there's like too much vampires crowded around in one area. It will gratefully help you out in the higher nightmares like Nightmare 1920, which I really didn't struggle in. I managed to get them first time around only because I knew what to do in the maps I did. And that is 5 tips, including a bonus tip to help you become a better player in the new Blood Hunt mode, and that's another MVP secured for me. If you did enjoy this tip video, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss any videos from me. And if you want to watch another video by me, then click this video right here.